Quickly getting your political update following the Punjab Congress debacle. Punjab Congress chief Navjot Singh Sidhu has now tendered his resignation. This is coming at a time when the Congress interim chief also asked the PCC presidents of the other states which went to polls like of UP, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur to put across their resignation in order to facilitate reorganization of the post. Quickly going across to Gursimran now. Gursimran, right after the CWC also discussed threadbare reasons for the Congress's poll debacle, this action is now being taken against Sidhu.
Yes, the action has been taken, but the resignation by the Navjot Singh Sidhu speaks volumes about his arrogancy. It's a one-liner resignation which says that I hereby resign as the president of PPCC. That means Navjot Singh Sidhu has not taken the responsibility of the loss of the Congress party in the elections. Otherwise, we have seen that in the UP, the president, when the UP Congress president resigned, he said that I take the responsibility. But in case of Navjot Singh Sidhu, earlier we have also seen that he has been putting the onus on Charanjit Singh Channi that he was a declared CM face and it was for him to lead the party. And now when he resigned, it was a single liner that I hereby resign as the president PPCC. So this clearly shows that Navjot Singh Sidhu is in no mood to accept that it was his fault, while we have seen all the members, almost all the MLAs who have lost, even those who have won, they have been questioning the attitude of Navjot Singh Sidhu, the way he didn't campaign for them, the way he has been giving statement against Charanjit Singh Channi, and they have been blaming him for the loss of the Congress party, while on the other hand, Navjot Singh Sidhu totally remains indifferent to these things. He, in one of the interviews after the election, he said what he said. He said that it doesn't matter for me whether I win or whether we lose. So this clearly gives morale, this clearly brings down the morale of the Congress workers as well, that their president is saying so. So that's why this action was taken. All the PPCC, all the presidents have been asked to put down their paper, and now Navjot Singh Sidhu has resigned, and now the Congress party will see whom to give the charge for Punjab, where they have faced a humiliating defeat in the assembly elections.
Let's just put that tweet on air once again. It is just a single line tweet, and what really does one make of it, Gursimran, because he just goes on to say, I hereby resign as the PCC president. It clearly mentions that probably this is a direction that is coming from the party top brass, because we are looking at the similar action that has been taken against the Congress unit presidents in other states. Let me go across to Manjinder Singh Sirsa Saab joining us here on the broadcast. Sirsa Saab, Sidhu Saab has now resigned, sir. It makes looks like he's been made to resign. He didn't want to.
Very true. नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू को आज 10 तारीख को रिजल्ट आया, और अगर उनको खुद रिजाइन करना होता तो वो बहुत दिन पहले रिजाइन कर चुके होते। लेकिन कल जब कांग्रेस की मीटिंग हुई स्टेट में भी, और स्टेट के लोगों ने भी ये डिसाइड करके हाईकमांड को बताया कि ये तो इतना ठीक है कि तो रिजाइन करने वाला नहीं है, तो कल मुझे लगता है कि कांग्रेस हाईकमांड ने तय किया कि सभी पीसीसी रिजाइन करेंगे। तो इसलिए सिद्धू ने रिजाइन किया नहीं है, सिद्धू से रिजाइन कराया गया है। और जिस आप किसी के लिए कबर खोदो तो ऐसा ही होता है, उसमें खुद गिरना पड़ता है। यही काम नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू ने किया था, आज नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू के साथ हो गया। कम से कम मैं समझता हूँ देश की राजनीति के सामने एक बहुत बड़ा सच आया है कि तुम पार्टियां बदलो, तुम ढोंग रचो, तुम फ्रॉड करो, तुम एक ही गीत कभी एक नेता के लिए गाओ, फिर वही गीत दूसरे नेता के लिए, फिर वही गीत तीसरे नेता के लिए, तो जनता बेवकूफ नहीं है, जनता समझदार है। तो मुझे लगता है कि एप्रोप्रिएट जवाब जनता ने पहले दिया उसको, और आज कांग्रेस ने भी उसको उसकी हैसियत और औकात दिखाने का काम किया है।
नहीं, और सिरसा साहब, इनफाइटिंग अभी कांग्रेस के अंदर खत्म नहीं हुई है, बिकॉज द मोमेंट द इलेक्शन रिजल्ट्स केम आउट, रंधावा जी, हु इज द डेप्यूटी, हु वाज द डेप्यूटी सीएम, स्टार्टेड डायरेक्टली टू ब्लेम सिद्धू एंड द टॉप ब्रास ऑफ द पार्टी। तो इनफाइटिंग खत्म नहीं हुई अभी भी?
नहीं, इनफाइटिंग खत्म नहीं होगी, बस कांग्रेस ही खत्म होगी। इनफाइटिंग कांग्रेस में नहीं खत्म होगी। जब भी कोई पार्टी, जब भी कोई जहाज डूब रहा होता है तो इसी तरह हालात बनते हैं। तो जो इनफाइटिंग है ये जारी रहेगी, ये खत्म होने वाली नहीं है, पार्टी ही खत्म होगी। पंजाब में आप देखिए 18 सीटों के ऊपर तब सिमट के रही हैं जब अकाली दल को एक सीट नहीं मिली, 3 सीटें उनको मिली, उनका पार्टी प्रेसिडेंट हार के सब कुछ हार गया, उसके बावजूद भी इनको कोई सीट मिलने को तैयार नहीं हो रही थी। तो इस तरह के हालात अगर पंजाब में, पंजाब जैसे स्टेट जहाँ पे पिछले 20 सालों से 10 साल तो सरकार में कांग्रेस ही रही है, 10 साल अकाली दल रही है, तो 20 सालों में 10 साल जो पार्टी राज में रही हो, उस पार्टी के अब ये हालात बन जाएं। और क्यों बने? 2 कारणों से। एक, ऊपर ऐसा आदमी ले आए राहुल गांधी, नीचे नवजोत सिद्धू, तो दोनों की एक ऐसी, मैं समझता हूँ कि तबाही की तरफ लेके गए हैं कांग्रेस को। लेकिन अच्छा है, अच्छा इस पार्टी का तबाह होना जरूरी था, जितना इसने गुनाह किए हैं, पाप किए हैं, आज वो पाप उसके सामने आ रहे हैं। चाहे वो कश्मीर में पाप किए हों, चाहे वो पंजाब में किए हों, चाहे वो दिल्ली में किए हों 84 में, वो सब पाप के जो घड़ा भर रहा है वो सामने आ रहे हैं और ये इसके हालात बनते जा रहे हैं।
जी Sirsa Saab, thank you sir for joining us here on the broadcast. So let's just put that tweet once again on air for our viewers to see what exactly has been mentioned by Navjot Singh Sidhu, where he's just mentioned in a single line there on your screens that as per desired by the Congress president, I hereby tender my resignation. That's all. So he's being very direct and pointed here when he goes on to say or mention in that resignation letter that he is now stepping down as the Congress unit president of Punjab. And the Congress party was routed in all of the poll-bound states. And this move is coming after a meeting that was held with the CWC, or rather called the Congress Working Committee, that was held to discuss the party's performance in recently concluded assembly elections. So the similar move, Gursimran, as I was asking you, that has been made by the Congress party in all of those 5 states where it had a dismal performance this time around too.
Yes, the decision was taken by the Congress chief Sonia Gandhi, but important to see is the resignation of Navjot Singh Sidhu. See, yesterday Ajay Kumar Lalu also resigned as the UP chief of the Congress party, but in his resignation he made mention of certain things and he took responsibility of the election results. But in the case of Navjot Singh Sidhu, this is a single liner, and what he said that it was on the directions of the Congress chief that he is resigning, he is tendering his resignation from the post of Congress Punjab chief. This clearly means that Navjot Singh Sidhu is in no mood to take the responsibility of what has happened to the performance of the Congress party in Punjab, because a day after his defeat, Navjot Singh Sidhu spoke to media, and what he said Channi was given charge, Channi had to see things, Channi had to tell me where I was needed, it was Channi who was something, so he was somewhat trying to put each and everything on Charanjit Singh Channi, the onus on Charanjit Singh Channi, not on him. And that is what is being can clearly be seen in this letter also, that he marks no mention that he was the PPC chief, he was responsible for the performance of the party. So this is what is happening, but now the Congress has to see how they will settle their house in order, because now the leader of opposition post has to be decided. For that, infighting has already begun. We saw how Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa, Pratap Singh Bajwa and even Amrinder Singh Raja Vading, they all are in fray and they are approaching the high command at their level. But now who will be the Punjab Congress chief? Will he be accepted by all? That too has to be seen, because the Congress has totally been divided. They were divided earlier also, but this loss has divided them further. Those who were friends have become enemy, and that is something the Congress needs to see.
Right. So it was the CWC that had authorized Sonia Gandhi to make those comprehensive changes in the party structure at the state and the national levels. And the first thing that has been done is to remove all of those party unit presidents in those election states that had just gone to polls, and the election performance that has been dismal of the Congress party. But interesting to see when it comes to the resignation letter of Navjot Singh Sidhu, is just a one-liner saying that I hereby resign as the Congress unit president of the state of Punjab. Gursimran, thank you.